dog.
I'm not showing you my butt because I don't trust y'all now. You be kicking me off the couch and shit. Yeah, tell him, please. Don't take no shit from him.
Oh, this is gonna be. This will be a little bit of a year to go. Think about this. I'll ask some general questions, and we'll just kind of work from there.
Okay.
What you been talking about? We don't want to open for the show.
What's up, everybody? It's Phil, and
Hold on, you gotta do it like Phil does on Instagram. What's up, everyone? It's your boy Phil, representing the ATX.
see, this is what I mean when I tell you you're not as cute as you think you are. You're not nearly as cute as you think you are.
Welcome to Celebrate Geek.
The show where we invite you into our highly dysfunctional and insane lives, where I'm learning how to speak Gavish, even though I've been with him for 7 years.
And I'm learning that Phil likes more things than he lets on.
Yes, you brought the fanboy out in me.
And that was great. So this is technically our last regular show of the year.
Yes, technically.
So we decided to talk about our favorite things from 2021, right?
Yes, that's the current year.
Yes, I had to stop and think about that because...
There she goes again. She's like, oh, he's wearing a black shirt. Let me rub my white fur all over it.
Let me rub my butt fur on him. That's what she done said. So, yeah, we're just going to talk about some things we really enjoyed from this past year besides starting this show.
Which, yes, was a
We've
highlight
had a good deal
for
of
me.
fun. One, what was your favorite movie from the year?
What came out this year?
A lot came out this year. I really liked Luca. I thought Luca was amazing. I thought it was great. Had so much fun with it. I know there's still some movies coming out because Spider-Man comes out. Probably today when you're watching this, we will be watching Spider-Man. So that will probably be my favorite movie, but because I haven't watched it yet, which I don't care what you feel like Friday, we're going to see Spider-Man.
I'm working.
Well, then you're just going to have to duck out. It's at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll just go by myself there. Anyways. So yeah, Luca's been one of my favorites so far this year. Just absolutely loved it.
I can't remember what... Shang-Chi?
I thought you liked Tammy Faye.
I didn't know that came out this year. Yeah, the Eyes of Tammy Faye then, yes.
I knew it his would
That was my favorite this year. That movie was amazing.
He really liked The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I did too. It was really fun.
The funny thing is, you didn't really remember who she was. I knew who she was. I remember seeing her on TV crying and her mascara and shit running. But so when I watched the movie, I was like, oh, here's the other side of that woman that I grew up being raised to think was kind of a monster. And in reality, she just was trying to do the best she could under really messed up circumstances, surrounded by really corrupt, messed up people.
Yeah. So you gotta give her some credit for that one. It was definitely trying. And it's been a year full of moments. Like, I was really happy to finally figure out what was wrong with my body. That was always fun. But I remember when I was saying, I'm fucking lactose intolerant.
Which, for him, y'all, like, this is somebody who every week when we went grocery shopping had to buy more cheese because we couldn't have enough cheese in the house. And now all he can have is gross vegan cheese, which...
It's not the same.
No, it's like gack.
It's not even like that. Gack is more edible.
It just has the consistency of gack.
It's bad. Vegan cheese. I like if some of it's cooked, it's fine. You can't really tell the difference, but just as cheese out of the refrigerator.
I mean, like the mac and cheese I got you the other night was fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't run back and voluntarily have another serving of it, but it was acceptable. It didn't make me want to throw up.
Sad moment, which I wasn't expecting to be so sad, was they closed the Disney store in Round Rock, which Terry and I would go to, and all those people just lost their job, been there 15, 25 years, just unceremoniously dumped on the curb. We went up there and like all the normals were there. We took all these pictures. It was really emotional for some of these people. Like, it was sad. I didn't expect it to be quite as sad, and I know you probably don't get it, but like imagine if you went to the last day of Tower Records or something.
I remember when that happened.
There you go. So you know what it was like.
It wasn't sad for me. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to have to find a new place to get my metal records.
It was sad, y'all. They made it bad. Disney made a bunch of bad decisions this year, um, and my love for them started to just kind of fade.
I'm surprised because for 7 years I've been telling you that they're the evil empire, and you still seem to love them.
Did y'all see that? I'll be doing it for you again.
They are. The mouse will not be satisfied until he owns everything. They go, ha ha! I'm gonna come visit, ha ha!
And I think one of my other favorites this year was I finally got the revamped Hero Quest.
Oh my god! And he
I
just
could not stop talking about that.
Wet his manties when that arrived.
But I think we had a lot of fun this year. I think going to Fort Worth for that concert was a lot of fun. Starting this show was a lot of fun. Just celebrating the little things together was a lot of fun. But it has been a rougher part of the half of the year because you've been on medical leave.
And dealing with all my crazy shit.
So not a whole lot happened for half the year.
I mean, it was a lot of work on myself and a lot of self-discovery. I mean, I released a song for the first time for people to hear.
That was amazing.
And I really enjoyed finally doing the show with you, even though I was sure I wasn't going to like doing this. It's been fun. I discovered Mr. Gibby Stites, whose music also helped me a lot dealing with my...
So, here's my question for you. Last year, your Spotify playlist said you were what?
I was in the top 2% of Twisted listeners last year.
Let's see if I can figure out what this year's is. Because he's listened every day, all day for like 6 months plus.
Not just to them, though. I have a whole playlist of artists from their label and mob style music.
That's all we listen to anymore. 1%.
0.01%.
So he's like the upper crust of fucking Twisted listeners here. And
but Gibby was in the top 5. He was number 3.
That's kind of impressive. That's a lot of dedication and love, and I'm glad that you were able to do that.
I have enjoyed their music immensely. You know, they get a bad rap because they were discovered by ICP and everybody thinks they're like one and the same, but like they just talk about everything, and they talk about, you know, having good days and bad days and happy times and being crazy. And I read in an interview with, you know, Jamie Madrox where he was like, a lot of what we do is to give people sort of an outlet. Like, no, we're not advocating that you go hurt somebody, but we'll write a song about what it might be like to do that, and you listen to it and you just kind of process. I don't listen to it like that. Like, the violent shit isn't what really gets me. For me, a lot of it is more when they're just talking about what it's like to deal with people who don't like you or feeling like you don't really fit in with anybody. And then with Gibby, a lot of what he talks about, he calls it mental health music, and that's what it really was. A lot of his songs helped me process my grief and my anxiety and my depression and work on a lot of things. And a lot of it was just, there were times where I was listening to his songs like, how does he know what I'm going through? How does he know my life story?
He's in the bushes outside.
Yes.
Taking notes. Oh, this is gold. This motherfucker's fucked up.
I mean, but it was really cool to discover his music and become a big fan of his this year too.
Yeah, he's had a lot of music moments in the past 6 months. I love the fact that you've really, you know, sung your first song, and we've just got a lot done. And I also got to finally use my Disney dishes for a dinner party, and I was super excited about that.
I'm surprised that you used them when the Queen hadn't come over.
I'm also laughing because I love the fact that this is the year that, you know, we really cemented who our really good friends are and just had a good time with them as much as possible. It was weird. Still kind of quarantined out, but I'm just ready for everything to kind of go back to normal and just, you know, be kind to one another.
That's the part of the year that, like, for me was really disappointing. I kind of hoped that when he who shall not be named left office, even after the insurrection, I had hoped that people would go back to not being quite so crazy and where kindness would return and that the rise of the Karens would be over.
The rise of the Karens will never be over because they're far too fucking entertaining.
But, and see, the thing is, in their minds, they're not doing it for entertainment. They're doing it because they genuinely believe they deserve to be treated like they rule the world. And it's really sad. I read this article the other day about this guy who had worked at Taco Bell for like 20 years. And he quit this year because he said that people's behavior this year, ever since the pandemic started, is worse than it ever was in 20 years. And he couldn't handle the abuse and the mistreatment that people in the food industry were going through. And I mean, think about it. Most people hate working in fast food. Most people don't want to ever have to do it if they ever haven't, or if they did it briefly and never want to go back. This guy did it for 20 years, and it took the Karens 18 months to break him and make him leave that, and he was really upset about it. He was talking about how sad he was to leave it because he really loved working at Taco Bell and he really loved what he was doing, which is not something you ever hear people say.
I loved working at McDonald's.
Yeah, but that's because you did a lot of crazy shit.
We did get away with a lot of crazy shit.
Like, in the world of today, you couldn't do any of that stuff.
No, Eric and I would be so fucked.
Y'all would be fired, like, after day 3.
I enjoyed it, though, but I did have bad people there.
But now, it's people making ridiculous requests and demanding that those be fulfilled. And if someone makes a mistake on the order, they're screaming, the customer screaming to the high heavens. Like, that CEO guy who cut his salary and gave everybody who works for him like at least $70,000, he said it best. He was like, whoever said the customer is always right needs to shut up, and that motto needs to go away.
That was the worst thing anyone ever created.
Because it has made monsters out of people.
Well, it's not just that. I don't know how your business runs. So how can I fucking possibly be right? I've never worked at a barbershop, so how the fuck can I possibly be right?
But people have taken it to new extremes, evidently. Like I said, running somebody out of an industry after 20 years says that your behavior is wildly inappropriate and out of control.
So hopefully next year is kind of back to somewhat normal.
I just don't think it will go back. I think once this cat got out of the bag, it's one that'll never go back in.
So you think we're just too far gone?
That there feels like it.
Never be. And it's sad to have to say that we're just so far gone now as a society that we're just fractured for the rest of time.
But we had 4 straight years of someone trying to divide us and someone telling everybody that racists are still good people and that racism was acceptable, and surrounding himself with people who were telling everyone racism was acceptable. And that spawned a new... Like, I read this article that was talking about how a new civil war is inevitable unless we start to backtrack and try to turn things around. And it's really sad that we're at that point because somebody stoked the racial divide the way they did and exploited it.
But the problem is you can't blame him for everything. That racial divide was there.
He's the one
who made it okay. A catalyst.
He's the one who made it okay to no longer keep it a secret. He's the one who made it okay to say whatever fucked up shit comes into your head, and he became the president. Like, if there was a time where saying the kinds of things he said and behaving the way he did would have meant you could not have a career in politics. And he turned it around and made it so that behavior is now acceptable.
Yeah, and we're not much better off today. I'm afraid in 3 years we're going to be right back where we were with him. And
I mean, he took his actions right out of Hitler's playbook, so that tells you it's not over with him. That there's a second round coming.
How about some positivity from this year that you liked?
I already talked about that. The music, the show. I love you.
Yeah. See, what other question can I ask you that could throw you out there? What's your favorite thing about me this year?
Like, seeing you, knowing that you were there for me through all the shit I was going through. Even when it was ridiculous. I know at times my behavior to you probably seemed absolutely insane and ridiculous. But you were still there with me through it. Even though it was probably a lot to deal with.
It was a lot. It was hard.
You had said your Christmas wish was that I would be back to normal before Christmas. Did you get it?
So far, but it's not quite Christmas yet. I wait for the Christmas Eve meltdown to come and be like, ah! I'm back! The crazy Phil is back! And you'd be creeping through the fucking house like an ogre.
I never did that.
I enjoyed watching you open up this year. You were dealing with things, but then you also just realized this whole life you've lived and these preconceived notions you've had about things like enjoying fandom and stuff, and your hair especially, in your music, just let it go and have fun with it. That's been my favorite part of you this year is finally, you're like, okay, let's just do it. Like cutting your hair. You had a heart attack, but then you know what? It looked fine.
My mother told me my whole life that I had a gigantic head and I would look insane if I didn't have hair.
We still have hair, it's just it looks really good. It's not that floppy, halfway curly fucking mess of a rat thing you have.
I did like my hair when it was longer, but it's fine. I like it now because it's just so much easier. Because maintaining my hair before was a lot of work. All the shit I had to put in it to hold it in place because of how heavy it was.
Oh my god, he had so much product in there.
Because my hair is, I have a lot of it and it's heavy and it has its own opinions about how it's going to be styled. So if I didn't put all that stuff in my hair, it was going to stand up or it would go to the side or just, like you said, this wild, almost curly mess coming off the top of my head. So it is a lot simpler this way. I do prefer that.
What was your favorite holiday moment we had?
Halloween was so much fun. But if I'm like, as much fun as Halloween was, at Easter watching the kids.
The glow-in-the-dark icon.
Yes, that
definitely was holiday moment for us.
That was magical.
You know, the process of figuring that out, I thought I had it down, but spending time just trying to hammer it out. So if you're going to do it, buy those semi-translucent eggs with miniature glow sticks. I bought glow-in-the-dark eggs, blacklight flashlights, does not work. This is what works, but you have to be quick. So have a team doing it because those glow sticks start to fade after like a minute. So we still made it work really well, but I was out there
we were standing in the backyard and the kids were on the trampoline with all their eggs and all we could see were little glowing eggs flying around in the air because you couldn't see the kids anymore. It was really cute.
That was super fun. What was your saddest moment we had this year?
We had or I had?
We had.
Jordan.
Yeah. Losing Jordan was really hard this year. I think, for me, the saddest moment outside of Jordan was the day you realized you needed to be on medical leave. Because I knew that wasn't an easy decision to make. And I knew you had been defeated. And it wasn't right. It wasn't of your own doing. And it's just, I knew an adjustment was coming. I just was going to be there for it. That's all I could do.
And you were through all of it.
And so was the dog.
Yes, dog was instrumental. I mean, there were some days where my anxiety was so bad that the thing that helped me was sitting there and just petting her and being like, it's okay. Just pet your furry little friend who's with you through everything, and you'll be okay.
She's only with you until I show up.
Yeah, and then she's like, who the fuck are you?
Then she just, fine. Done. Most infuriating moment of the year, I think for me, was the saga of the dining room table.
Oh my god, when I went fucking
Y'all, I'm very particular. I've been spending years thinking about things that I want to do, and the dining room table is something I really wanted to upgrade. And we had seen so many tables, we've sat at so many tables, and of course the one I wanted was going to be the most difficult story. It's there, it's not there, it's on back order, we may or may not get it. You could do the floor model. No, I'm canceling the floor model because I'm mad. It's like, it was fucking drama to get this table, but it was worth it in the end. It's a beautiful counter height table. We all have fun on it. We've been playing games on it. It's absolutely just perfect for the kitchen. And it was worth the wait. But it was not worth the headache. Because that was a whole level of, I can't even tell you, crazy.
And I was going through a lot of my anxiety at that time, and so when that happened, it was almost like a breaking point for me. It was like, I'm going to go insane. Like, remember I had to leave the store at one point?
He stormed out of the store.
Like, I had to leave because I was like, I'm going to start cursing people out if I don't get out of here.
He was this close to becoming a Ken. Like, this close.
But y'all, it wasn't
It was
like
very justified, though.
I was just saying, I wasn't being a brat and like, oh my god, I'm demanding that you bend over backwards to accommodate me. It was like, hey, you're charging a lot of money for this. The least you could do is tell me when you're going to deliver this to me. And then for it to turn into the argument and the back and forth that it turned into just set me up. But I didn't turn into a Ken. I just left the store and went outside and breathed because I was just about to snap.
That was probably the most infuriating moment of the year.
Mine, and I'm not going to say where or any of that, but I told you I had that. Y'all, if you've ever seen Pulp Fiction out there, you know that moment where Samuel L. Jackson gets mad and he's like, I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing. I had that moment in a meeting, and that moment was one of my like shifting points where I was like, oh, I don't know what to do right now. I don't know. I need to mute myself because I'm about to start cursing in this meeting.
Yeah.
Being told I didn't know what I was doing, I was like, oh, okay, all right. So that was I still get mad when I think about it. I have to calm myself down. Yeah, but some good things came out of everything.
A lot of good things came out of it at the end of the day. What other things do you want to talk about? Because I've been asking all the questions, you've been asking nothing.
See, I like to talk about music, but music's not that big a deal to you. Like, if I asked you what was your favorite song of the year, I don't think you would even know.
I liked that one I live just to the other day, Cold Heart? I think that's probably my favorite one of the year.
And it was funny, y'all, because he was sure I wasn't going to like it. Okay, so there's a trend in music that I do not like.
He calls it the sad emo girl.
If you watch like trailers, they'll take like a happy song from the 80s and then they'll replace everything with a sad piano and a sad girl singing the words really slowly and sadly. It's like, ooh, this was so brilliant. We turned it on its head. Not the 700th time you did it. It's no longer brilliant. It's no longer creative. It's just you redoing and rehashing what's been done 700 other times. So he thought I was going to hate Cold Heart, but he didn't count on the fact that the producer was one of my favorites, and that's Panau. And I loved what they did with that song, and it wasn't quite the same thing. They took a snippet of an old song that could easily be misconstrued in the original song, and using it in a new way told a different story than you might have taken away from the original. I enjoyed that song.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I enjoy, because I don't listen to a lot of music, but when I do, there's certain things that, like that one, just hit.
Mine this year, see, the one that Spotify identified as my favorite song of the year actually came out last year. My favorite song from this year would have been Bad Company by Gibby. That song was the shizzy.
Oh my. So, yeah, that's been us talking about our year and our memories and our thoughts.
What was your favorite food I made you?
Oh God, when you made that vegan, with the tofu for the sauce.
Oh, the vegan Alfredo,
The vegan Alfredo. Spot on. We need to figure out the vegan chicken cordon bleu in the crock pot, because that shit I miss. Anyways.
I don't know how you make vegan chicken cordon bleu.
Well, not vegan, but dairy free. Fuck you. Anyways, you know what I was saying. That's been our...
Because the Alfredo was vegan.
Yeah, it was vegan. So that's been our year of looking back at each other. Next week we're doing all Christmas
Dog,
episodes.
what was your favorite moment?
I don't know, when she ran up and down the fence and then crashed because someone said her name.
That was funny. It was like, BAM!
Favorite.
It was a Scooby-Doo moment for sure.
So yeah, we hope you guys have had fun with us so far. Next week is all Christmas shows, and we're off until the new year. And yeah, we hope you guys have liked, subscribed, shared, had fun with us, comment. We just have...
Even if you're a troll.
Even if you're a troll, we just love you guys. We love sharing this life with you guys, and We're going to be working on a reality show of this in January. So,
y'all, you just
it'll
don't know
just
what
be a
you're
small
getting
glimpse into what life.
in. You don't know
off
what y'all are
the
getting
couch
yourselves
is.
into if you watch it. This man,
The weird shit. Just.
that just comes flying out of his mouth.
So yeah, thank you guys. Hope you've had a great 2021. We'll see you for our Christmas week next week, and then into 2022. Any last thoughts?
Let's make 2022 the best year yet.
That's what they said about 2021. Look what happened.
That's what we've said every year for the last 5 years, and every year it seems to get worse.